G'day everyone and welcome to the Insight NBA show. This is our season preview. Raise your glasses up for the world champions, the NBA champions, and just like them, Noah Lyles can't take the title away from drinking world champions and you and I. Skiddy, how are you, mate?
G'day, G. Yeah, I'm going very, very well. I'd love to know what Noah Lyles thinks about the Boston Celtics becoming the world champions, even though that he is not the world champion in the 200 meter.
He can run very fast for 100. That's it. It's neither here nor there.
And look, he's an Olympic champion, so shout out to Noah Lyles. What an absolute champion he is. So, but I'm very, very excited about this one, G, and in the way of getting to talk about the NBA champions, because for fantasy, it's not much difference. You'd have to agree.
Look, we are going to have a really good chat about these guys, and we always promise you 30 minutes or under for these team previews, or your pizza is free. Bear in mind, we can't back that up, and we're going to get to it right after this.
No pizza.
They're playing basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skiddy, and Mally for the Insight NBA show.
And you were bang on the money before the hotness of the intro song, Skiddy. There's certain things to talk about with the Boston Celtics. Let's not take away they are the world champions. Last year they had an NBA best 64-18 record, smashing those overs. Number one offensive rating, number two defensive rating, and they won the world champ. They won the NBA. They won the Larry, mate.
Yep, they did. They brought Larry home to Boston, and look, having the team that they did, it was pretty hard to stop them. They had some unbelievable starting lineup. Their rotation players, they had a couple that were able to do stuff, so that was really good. Jay, I'm going to start off exactly right. I'm going to start off the show with a new little thing that I'm going to bring in for, and as you know, we like to have a little betoir every here and there.
Betoir, yes.
Boston Celtics, I'm going to give you under-over team wins this season. I'm going to sit it at 57. Are you taking the under or the over?
I'm taking the under.
The under. Explain.
I am still taking these to be a very good team. And why I'm going to say this one, I'm going to surprise you. By the way, you don't know this. I've got some surprises for you because, I do like to just throw stuff at you.
That's why I thought I'd get one in for you.
I did, and I like it. And I'm going to take the unders because let's be honest, I made this for you, Skiddy.
Jesus.
There's everyone in your draft room looking at the board, and KP is just sitting there. The elephant in the fantasy room this year is Kristaps Porzingis. And much like that, the elephant in the room with the organization is Kristaps Porzingis. Now, they're a very good team. They're elite. Let's be honest. They've got 3 of the 5 starters, basically. Oh, no, wait. Do you even could classify Jason Tatum as a Team USA player if he doesn't play? Just asking for a friend. Just asking.
Bam! Knife, twist, dagger.
I
like that.
I'm just, if you don't, just that aside, these guys are good.
Hey, look.
Where are you with KP? Where are you? He did good cheering.
Bron. He gave the Gatorades to KD. He made sure that the seat was warm for Derek White. He did a really good job on Team USA. So where would I take Kristaps Porzingis is what you're asking me.
This is the question.
See, so we've seen some people have him bloody high, and we've seen some player have him pretty low. I'm looking at this in the way of, so it's an ankle injury, isn't it? It's ankle surgery is what he had. For a guy that's 7'3", that does worry me a little bit.
Yep.
But he was extremely impactful fantasy player last year, G. We're talking about a guy
he's incredible.
That was averaging over 2 blocks a game, 10 rebounds, points, threes. He's even getting a couple of assists. Great free throw percentage as well on high volume.
A machine. He's a machine.
This offense was just perfect. Is perfect for him. He's still there, in fairness. So I like it when he's going to be available. I know that there was a few years back when Jaren Jackson Jr. was injured and we were expecting him to come back. What was it? We were expecting him to come back in, I think it was January.
Late November, early December.
He came back. He came back early December, but he was meant to come back late Jan. And people were still taking him around about that 90 to 100 mark. I think Porzingis is going to, it's tough. I'm going to have him, I reckon, around the same 100 mark, 90s. I've got him around the mid 70s at the moment on my
You've got him on your consensus board. You've got him at 74. Mally from Insight's got him at 71. I've got him at 72. So we're all up there because it's injury buyer beware. Yeah. Matrix has him at 25 of all because he loves him. And he was the 15th best player last year. But to that, it's not a bad shout. It's that injury and that buyer bias. Because for me, there's also rumor that he could rest if they're playing well. Like this is where back to your question of the unders and overs, will they need him? And if he pushes out this one, he could come back in the All-Star break. And if you're going to put a pick there where you can get someone, now I know this from personal, like maybe I have some PTSD last year. In a league with no IL and IR spot, I took Ja Morant being like, I can give up 20 games. I can make a run. And then he came back for 9. And then he didn't exist anymore on your fantasy team. And it was a massive bloody blow. And that's the gamble you take when you're taking him right now. Yahoo's just released their rankings, and I believe he is at 43 or 47 on their first train. 47. KP is at 47 on the first round. And look, let's be honest. You flirt with him there. Again, this is going back. You're going to be in your draft queue. Everyone's like, no. Someone, and KP is just going to be, hey, guys, I'm here sliding down. I'm here.
Top of the board.
Right now, until I get any concrete thing that he's going to be back in before the new year, it's 70s plus because you can't pin your season to him on that one, especially when, look at this, the ins and outs of the team, Skiddy. There's no one bloody in. There's bloody Shavim McKaylock is gone. Yep. Baylor, g'day, welcome along, rookie. He's not going to get any minutes. Their rotation is not that deep. It's not that deep for the amount of money they're spending on a bloody payroll. Yeah.
Well, as we know, it'll be Peyton Pritchard off the bench. Al Horford will go into the starting lineup for Kristaps Porzingis. Then it will probably be Xavier Tillman will come off the bench, maybe Nemesis Cater. And then obviously Slam and Sammy Hauser will be the 3-point shooter off of the bench. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Matty. There's not a lot of like different ways that we can look about this Boston Celtics team. It's pretty much going to be straight down the wire, exactly see what we get, and they're going to be the exact same that we saw. Starting 5, I think it's pretty obvious for us to have a look at here, G. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and I will not hear anything else.
No, you won't. And that's why I scratched out, as you can notice there, the word potential starting 5. And I just call it, this is the only 5. This is the only 5 basketball players these guys can pretty much put on the court right now. Let's talk their values from last year for a second, finishing off in generally knockout leagues, depending on where you fall and which one you subscribe to. These are the guys here. Kristaps at 14, Tatum at 15, Derek White 27, Holiday at 74, Jaylen at 75, and then Al Horford at 86. Now, outside that, the next bloke to fall down outside of that, according to Basketball Monster, was Sam Hauser at 180. So this is where, when we're talking about the drop-off for these guys with the highest like offensive rating and the defense, it's all driven by this team. KP 57 games last year. We might see 40 out of him, maybe half a season if we're lucky, maybe. So this is where I'm going. About? KP.
Who the hell is Tingus Pingus? Carry on,
mate. No, mate. This is where the zinger burger for me. So that's why I'm going the unders. That's why I've got it at 57. I'm like, maybe it's 56.
I don't think Porzingis out actually moves that needle so much for me. I think they're still going to be good without. This mixture of offense and defensive and switchable players that they have.
It's incredible,
ridiculous.
It's incredible.
I know Porzingis is losing him is definitely hard for Al Horford.
Is it 7 games? Is it 7 games different? No, it's probably not.
Think about it. think about it. They won 64 last year.
7.
And I gave you 57 and a half.
At 6.5. All right, fine. I'll take over 57. I'll take over 57 and a half. 61. 61. Right. I'm going to pigeonhole it.
Let's get stuck in to a couple of let's get stuck into a couple of their players as well, because so we have that's the starting 5. Derek White, I think it's going to be about, that was an unbelievable season by him for defensive type ways. I think we could see a little bit of a drop from 27th and 24th overall. He obviously played a shitload of games too, which is good to see. But those, the 1 steal and the 1.2 blocks from a guard, really what helped drive him there. His threes as well were nice at 2.7, 5.2 assists as well at only 15 points per game. So he doesn't need massive usage. It's just that the 46% from the field as well was what was nice. So I like Derek White still around maybe the 40s mark. The upside's not huge, but those defensive stats from a guard are beautiful.
Can I interest you in a very sexy pairing of an entree or a little side dish? If your main meal is Victor Wembanyama in the first round, and you're coming back around, you might be tempted around that 25 mark. Oh, because you're not going to get another. High. It's so high. If he falls though, if Derek White falls in your draft and he is there coming back around to you, you're not even having. Don't guess it. Don't guess it. Hey, just be like, "Hello, gift horse. What's in your mouth?" Don't care.
If you take Wemby at 1 or 2 and Derek White is being able to be the player that you compare him with as your fourth or fifth pick around that turn mark, thank you, mother, for the rabbits. We are eating good tonight. That
is a nice little 6. And someone who you might even pick up. I'm gonna really whet your appetite as you take a drink. Fred VanVleet. If you need another guard. You're just packing a few guys in there, especially out of position blocks, locking that down. There's no one's going to touch you for blocks. You're going to be able to get a shitload of points out of the guys. Bear in mind, Derek White scores, but the threes are going to be there as well.
Threes are nice, yeah.
The threes are nice. So it's just a nice little guard pairing. You just take one of those two to couple with Wemby because, let's be honest, you're going to be going into your drafts thinking about guys like Victor Wembanyama. Like, I'm going to get him and we're going to win blocks. Okay, yeah, you might. But you need to complement them with guys like Derek White. Again, another lockdown defender on their team in the starting 5 is Jrue Holiday. Now, this was interesting. Last year, he actually averaged less than 2 stocks a game, less than 1 steal, and less than 1 block a game. This is a guy who we all know is an incredible defender, Skiddy, but his defense is more than just fantasy relevance. Right. It's the difference. We say, he's such a good defender. And you go into a draft, especially being new, it's like, I'm going to get him. He's going to get me steals and blocks. No, he's not. In a game, he's an excellent defender, but he's not generating that high amount of steals. Like, again, Jaylen Brown got more. Derek White got more. Jason Tatum got more steals than Jrue Holiday last season. So you're looking through it and you're expecting that from your guard and those great defensive guards. Just be conscious of that one. Again, he did finish last year in 74. He played 69 games, 12 points a game. We love Jrue Holiday. And again, an excellent international player and component of this one, but he is not the team's top gun. Let's talk about this bloke. Ooh. The artist known as the Team USA player, Jason Tatum.
Disrespect towards the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and the Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown not being the top guy. That's unbelievable, G.
Hey, you made the notes. You chose. Hey, don't you be bus throwing me on. Okay, but let's be honest. It is Tatum's team. It is Tatum's team. It's Tatum's team.
No, it's Jaylen Brown's team. He's the top guy for fantasy. All right, there's a difference. It's Jaylen Brown's team now, G, and I will not hear it any other way. Jaylen Brown, top dog. I've got your back, Jaylen.
I'm telling you right now, the top dog is Jason bloody Tatum.
Jaylen Brown, correct.
It's Jaylen Brown, is it? Really?
Yeah.
Does he?
Jaylen
can I just ask?
Over Jason.
Okay, so at least Jason Tatum got to put on the bloody uniform for Team USA. Surely. Yeah.
I don't care. Jaylen Brown was the Finals MVP. I don't care. Okay, I would not have any disrespect towards Jaylen Brown.
Fine. No more besmirching Jaylen Brown. We'll talk about him in a second for another segment. I'll guarantee you this one. But Jason Tatum, he is flirting around as always, though, Skiddy, with the bloody first round value, whatever you want to call it. He's the first Celtic off the board come draft days. Early ADP data has him coming around early second round value. Do we see a step up from him this year without KP in the team? On the back of the team, a bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
We get a bit of egg on his face. Yahoo has him at 8. Yahoo has him at 8.
8. Jeez, that seems...
But you'd be comfortable taking him there. You're not going to get a guy like that. You're not uncomfortable taking him there, but it's a slight bit of a reach from where he's been. But he can top you around that marker in fantasy. Well,
he was 8 overall 2 years ago. So I don't hate that. But yeah, there's a lot of different, postponements on this team as well for the Celtics. Obviously, the 27 points per game is the real thing that jumps out for us. He is a great avenue to get points in your fantasy team. Also, 8.1 rebounds. We'll take that. 5 assists last year. Very, very usable with that there. 3.1 steals. Love that. I think that we are going to get an absolute banger of a season from Jason Tatum. I think that he's going to come out, eggs on his shoulder, weight on his shoulder, everything on his shoulders, and he's going to come out and try his ass off.
Kitchen sinks, everything. Just put everything
weight, incense, team, whatever the hell else you can put on his shoulders. I feel like he's going to really try and step it up this season for the Boston Celtics.
The man's shoulders. This is going to sound like a bit of a love fest. I'm actually going to put a bloody photo up of the Team USA photo. When you put the Team USA photo up there, did you see the bloody Jason Tatum Team USA? For those who never saw it, I'm going to bring it up in a second.
He's a strong upper body.
He was a bloody massive unit. Like, he's just standing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everyone else looks small compared to how bulky the bloody guy was. He is a machine. It is his team in Boston, and he will be driving them. But also, okay, whatever. You check your own bloody notes. No, he will be driving them, followed closely by this bloke. Now, I know that you love your Jaylen Brown.
Finals MVP Jaylen Brown.
Finals MVP Jaylen Brown.
Thank you.
But now I'm really gonna fuck you because you don't know. You originally, you don't, because you had the ADP battle down for him. You selected to put Jaylen Brown up against Zach LaVine.
I did.
Now, you did, and Yahoo's data has Zach LaVine way down in the 70s and Brown's up around the 40s, and I thought I'd really challenge you with a similar marker.
Interesting.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
I'm a bastard.
Interesting.
Jaylen Brown and Evan Mobley. You can bring up our big board if you choose. Allow me, in the meantime, to tell you that currently on Yahoo's first release of rankings, these guys are both in the 40 markup. So these are guys who you're going to be looking at come your draft day, are in that way. In fact, Jaylen Brown is at 48 and Evan Mobley is 43. So for all intents and purposes, Mobley is the highest stocked player. And interestingly enough, in our big draft boards too. However, with KP being out for the year, with the status quo being what it was in Cleveland last year, could you expect that Jaylen Brown comes in from the late 70s where he was last year in fantasy at the end of the day? And can we expect that jump from Mobley, who was a dependable 42? Basically, we're expecting Jaylen Brown to best an Evan Mobley's position last year. I don't think he can. I don't think Jaylen Brown is that guy.
Not for fantasy, no. I would take Mobley ahead of Brown pretty comfortably. Brown had 23 points per game, which is good. 5.5 rebounds. No worries. 2.1 triples, which is down. But 1.2 steals is nice. But his goddamn percentages is what threw everyone in his whole season off last year. 500 from the field is awesome. But 703% from the free throw line was the thing that absolutely shit everyone off about Jaylen Brown. For some reason, he just could not shoot free throws. And he gets very, very high volume.
4.3 attempts per game. As you said, a 70% shooter. Look, this is a guy who loves to shoot the ball. The 2 threes are okay. His rebound's decent. He profiles is good across most things. Again, he has the turnovers there, 2.4 a game. But the amount of the percentages that he and when he was shooting free throws, in the semifinals and in the playoffs. People are nervous. Bostonians are literally just going, oh no, not Jaylen.
Yep.
Maybe forgive me, Skiddy. Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct.
Making you proud. So these guys are already starting to fall around the same mark. There is that whole KP is missing. Jaylen's going to have to do more. There's been a lot of off-season narrative with JB, obviously not getting that spot. Derek White deserved it. He was a better fit in there at the end of the day, to be fair. But there was that, all of the talk about him, and on the back of the finals MVP, and on the back of the recency bias and the recency narrative for Jaylen is going to be there. So do you pull the trigger on it or not come draft day? And I'm just not. I'd rather bank on the dependability of Evan Mobley around that marker than I would on Jaylen Brown having an up and down season. That being said, he came in good at the end of the year. He was a hot target, and he started off last year very slow. Yep. If the same happens, he's an excellent candidate for buy low early in for those guys who expended a higher draft pick than what you think he's going to return back come the second half of the season, Skiddy.
Yep. Agreed. That's why I'll have a crack at him at about, mid-50s or so and just bank on that his free throws aren't completely stuffed. So I'll have a crack on that. And then the last starter is Al Horford. Gee whiz. He was 86th overall. 86 per game last year, 97th overall, only in 65 games played, 26.8 minutes a night. He averaged under 10 points, but 6.4 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.7 threes is pretty bloody good for Al Horford. Yep. A block, over 500 field goal percent, but the main thing was 86 from the line, is where he made a lot of it there. So one of the centers that can get you big man sets to a degree, but also keeps the field goal quite nice and high. I'm obviously somewhat interested, but let's remember it's Al Horford. He did not play one back-to-back last year. Not one.
And this is exactly right. I'm interested. I'm interested at the right price.
To a degree.
Where is that? Are we
correct?
To a degree. For example, do I want a Kelly Olynyk from Toronto? Mm-hmm. Similar profile kind of player in a way?
Well, in a way, but also to remember Jakob Poeltl is there in Toronto. But Al Horford's going to be starting, getting good minutes until Porzingis is back.
Exactly. So this is where I'm like, you've got similar profiles here around this 100 marker. Guys like Yusuf Nurkic go around 100 as well. So I'd be taking Nurk over Horford. Al Horford is a guy, though, who's one of the starters that will be able to run over the course of the year and pick up on our waiver wire. You don't get him back-to-backs because he doesn't play them. And that's where we're going to get to another option down in our best of the rest player, because there are some guys keep an eye. If he's oft injured, and when he does play back-to-backs, it's because he's aging. He's re-signed. He's happy. He's got his championship. Good on Al. But we can't depend on him. But he is as stable as it comes around that late 100 marker. And he's not going to rise up and surprise you. But you've picked out a guy who is ready to rise up, who you think could excel their ADP this season and be a cheeky stream option throughout the year. You're way up on this bloke. Tell us.
No. There's only one G. That's what I'm saying. I'm not that high on him, but there's no other player on the Boston Celtics that's rising.
I thought it might be the other player. Let's find out who it is.
Your opportunity.
So it's Peyton Pritchard, G, because I just don't think that there's any other player on the Boston Celtics that is ready to rise that fits our category right now, because this is the only up-and-coming player that's actually getting minutes. It's not going to be Sam Hauser. I don't care about Sam Hauser. He only shoots threes. He's going to be a good streamer for threes. That's fine. Al Horford's nearly
great.
Al Horford's
Sorry, hold on.
Hey,
will you watch your filthy, sexy mouth? NBA Finals 3-point shooting, Sam Hauser. Thank you very much.
Yes, NBA champion Sam Hauser. My apologies.
There you go.
I'll disrespect Jason Tatum and go, we did it. Oh, that's shocking. He surely thought of something better. They were up 3-1. And you're telling me that's the best iconic moment thing that he could think of is just to rip off KG and come on. Pritchard though, G. I think I can stream him if we see White or Holiday go down, Pritchard in to now I'm actually not that sure about it. Somewhat of the starting lineup, I think, but I think he's still going to get good minutes either way. He played all 82 games last year, 22 minutes per night, 10 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, but he averaged 1.8 threes per game. Free throws were nice at 82%. As I said, this is a guy that he can put it. We've seen him without White and Holiday. He put up points and assists, and he was able to carry the team, and he did it efficiently. So if they're both out and he gets a clear runway, definitely a guy to pick up. The other way that we could go is Sam Hauser can be picked up for a streaming of threes. But other than that, I could not care less about any of the other Celtics except for maybe Xavier Tillman on. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, there it is, because there he is.
Yeah.
There it is, because it's the only two guys we're going to talk about. Otherwise, it's Xavier. You've hit the nail on the head, Skiddy. It's Xavier Tillman Sr. And where the hell do you take Kristaps Porzingis? Because the starting five is the starting five, but these are the only other guys that come on draft day that you're going to want to be even considering. If anything happens to Al Horford in the preseason, God forbid.
Xavier Tillman.
It's going to be Xavier Tillman. Who else? Who else
is
is going to
paid up, but it'll be Tillman.
It'll be Tillman. It'll be NBA champion Xavier Tillman. There you go. Yep. Thank you.
We did it.
We did it. We did it. We're so happy. We're so happy. No. It's no. Like, they won. Go Boston. And I don't like Boston. I don't like the Celtics. Alex Reclean is going to kill me. Reclean is going to hate me for this. But and it's only based because I liked a girl who lived in Brisbane and I lived on the Gold Coast. And then I moved to Sydney and she was in Brisbane and she was a Celtics fan. And she sent me a cute selfie of her wearing a Celtics hat doing one of these ones one time. And I was like, I was besotted. And then she dated somebody else not long afterwards while I was in Sydney. And I'm like, fuck the Celtics.
Heartbroken. Heartbroken heart, G.
So from now, I can't do it. I can't do it because of the love.
It's fair enough, mate. But yeah, so I'm with you on Xavier Tillman, not on draft day, but if any time that Boston are going into a back-to-back, we know Al Horford's not playing. We know that Kristaps Porzingis is sitting. Xavier Tillman will be the center. Maybe get you 7-8 rebounds, maybe around the 10-point mark. He's going to be just there to try and get rebounds and set screens, though. So that's pretty much where we're going to be looking at it for. But, he'll get some minutes here and there off of the bench.
And setting screens isn't a fantasy category either. It's not. You can't. No. Trying really hard, also not a fantasy category. But if you want to try hard to win your league, though, you should definitely get on board and check out our big draft day kit. We've got all our analyst mock boards. We've spoken about some of those tonight. We've got the consensus board. There is a list of over 200 players deep. In fact, we're going to break it out when this is dropping tomorrow. We're going to have a live. I think this might go the day after because tomorrow, this might go the day after because tomorrow night, Mally and I are doing a live. Make sure you check that one out. Or if you haven't and you're listening to this live, go back and listen to that one. We're going to break down some of our biggest hits and the biggest challenges that we face in our draft board and where we put guys and where, Skiddy. And we've got Brooklyn coming up, mate. We've got a whole bunch of team previews coming.
Yes, sir, mate. That's what we do. We're going to be getting out here and just smacking out as many as we can to give you guys the best insight into each individual teams to help you guys get ready for your draft day. So it's just a good one to be able to fall back and go, what did the boys say again about where we should be picking up Kristaps Porzingis? I'll go back into the Boston one and I'll find that. Bang, money.
Bang, on the draft board. Do it every time. Make sure you're doing it and liking all of the things, liking, subscribing to all of our Insight NBA content. We'll see you soon.